Part 2 of my top 50 comic books. Stay tuned. Hey YouTube, it's Matt here. In a previous video, we did number 41 to 50 of my top 50 books. Or did we do 50 to 41? You get my point. This video, we're going to do 40 to 31. And again, just in case you haven't seen that first video, I don't know what my top 50 books are based upon anything. And I have a bunch of books that I really like and I really enjoy. So this, in no particular order, is book number 40. Now, this book has the distinction of being two onlys in my collection. This is the only CBCS book in my collection, and I'm going to tell you, I like CGC books. I love the slabs. The CBCS slab is also spectacular. I think both companies are pretty good at what they do. And the second, this is the only one in my collection. This is the only 9.9 that I have in the collection. What this is this is a Blaze's Cimmerian, the Frost Giant's Daughter, number 1, the Virgin Peach Momoko cover. There's just so much to say about this book. This is quite spectacular. For this Cimmerian Frost Giant's Daughter number 1 Peach Momoko variant Virgin cover, I ended up putting two charts on here. One is CGC and the other is CBCS because this is a CBCS graded book. As you can see, and it is kind of hard to see with the CBCS census, there is one 9.9 and that's the only one in the world in either CGC or CBCS. Speaking of spectacular, Michael Turner, Superman Batman number 3 from 2004. Guys, I didn't even read this series. I bought this book because of the art on this. Michael Turner is one of my favorite artists, and that's something you're going to hear a lot. One of my favorite. It's hard for me to find a favorite book, a favorite artist, a favorite writer. There's just so many good ones out there. And I talked about before, sometimes I can narrow it down. This is in my short list of most favorite. This one is clearly in my short list of most favorite artists, Michael Turner, with Superman Batman number 13. As I'm doing this series about my top 50 books, and I get to look at the CGC census data, sometimes I'm surprised that there aren't more books in the grades that I have. This book is a very famous book. It's a very popular Michael Turner cover. It surprises me that there's only 197 9.8s in the world. This book, this is Batman the Killing Joke, okay? Just a super iconic cover. You know, even the back cover is amazing on this book, but what a great, great image. You know, we have Brian Bolland art on this with Alan Moore's story. This is a great story. Came out in 1988, The Killing Joke. Now, this book I was able to buy on the ReggieCollects.com website. This is one of those books that's been around for a while, very popular. There have been over 2,000 of these books come back from CGC at a 9.6. Very popular book. Very controversial cover here. Love it. Spawn number 185. This is a Greg Caputo cover. Just a really dope art. This is a book, I pressed it and sent it off and got it to a 9.8. So I'm kind of proud of this book just because of the pressing factor that I'm the guy who pressed this book. But Spawn number 185. Spawn number 185 is a very popular comic book. This is a great Greg Caputo cover. This is one of those examples that just shock me when I look at the CGC census data. How are there only 42 9.8 copies of this book in the world? I'm just happy that I have one of them. This book needs no introduction. This is Wolverine Limited Series #1. Frank Miller art, Chris Claremont story. You know, this book is becoming a classic, but love this book. Love the grade of this. This book, I didn't pay a whole lot for it, and this just keeps on rising in value, but great Wolverine story. Wolverine #1 Limited Series is one of the most popular books to be sent down to CGC for grading, and there are almost 3,000 copies of this book in a 9.8. This is the first appearance of a new character. This is the first appearance of Cindy Moon Silk with Amazing Spider-Man #4. Now, there's a lot of new characters coming into what they're calling the Spider-Verse. Cindy Moon is one of the best characters of the Spider-Verse. So, great little series here. Hopefully, we see more of her in the future. There are 1, 10s, and 10 9.9s of ASM #4. But you can see the vast majority of the copies of Amazing Spider-Man #4, they have been graded at a 9.8. This is one of the most top-heavy books that I've ever seen submitted to CGC, meaning there are more high-grade books than there are low-grade books. This is an interesting little book here. This is Amazing Spider-Man 300, the first appearance of Venom. I guess there was a hand cameo in 299, but this is the first full appearance of Venom. Love this book. It's a very iconic book, very sought after, if you will. Amazing Spider-Man #300 is one of the most frequently submitted books to CGC, just like that Wolverine, which I showed earlier. But this is one of those books. It's a modern book, came out in 1988. You can still find copies in the wild. And whenever people do come across one, they like to send it down to be graded. This book right here, I am a Dr. Aphra fan. I've been talking a lot about her in videos. It seems to be a theme with me. I noticed that this book keeps being highlighted, but I'm a big fan of Dr. Aphra, and this is Darth Vader #3 from 2015. Darth Vader #3 is a book that seems to be top heavy, meaning there's more high grades than the lower grades, but this is becoming a very popular book for collectors to have, and it's getting harder and harder to find in the wild. This book right here was one of my goals for 2021. A Daredevil #1 from April 1964. Stan Lee, you know, writing at his finest. This is a cool character that I see a lot of good stuff happening going forward. But this is my first Silver Age, first appearance, #1 issue book in my collection. I say that so far. Maybe we'll get a few more in there eventually. Daredevil #1 is a book that's been around for a long time, and I have a very low grade copy, and I understand that, but in order to get a copy, I had to flip a lot of comic books in order to get enough funds available to purchase this. And selling comic books is not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of work and preparation that is involved in it. And I'm glad that I put in that little bit of sweat equity, if you will, and was able to gather this, super grail book. Marvel Zombies #1, okay? Gotta love the Robert Kirkman story because he's just such a fabulous writer, Walking Dead, Invincible. Marvel Zombies, he did a really good job on. This is a really cool tale, and it starts off this, basically a what-if universe. What if zombies took over the superheroes? But great writing, very good art in this, and just a nice little cool story. I've talked about this book before. I was going through the previews magazine, and this just looked interesting to me, so I put it down on my pull list. For the most part, I have pretty much all of the Marvel Zombie books. Don't know why I originally put it on, just thought it was a cool idea. Kept it, and I'm really glad I did. Marvel Zombies #1. Marvel Zombies is a relatively popular comic series from the mid-2000s, so whenever I see that there's only 197 graded 9.8s out there, That number just surprises me. I would have assumed that there were more, but either way, this is another book that I'm glad to have in a collection. Hey guys, this was my second video in my top 50. If you guys like this video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and put a comment down below. I want to thank everyone for watching, and you have a great day.